Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Greetings, family. Greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be tuning in. It's your brother King Simon once again, live from the mathematical universe. I hope everybody's doing well. How y'all doing out there? Yeah. I'm gonna start coming on first, and then then I introduce what I have to introduce. But hey, remember, of course, please like, subscribe, and share. Please, like, subscribe, comment, and share with at least 5 people. And I think this is a very important topic, and it came in mind like yesterday to do the words Negro, the word nigger. People might call it the N-word, whatever they might want to call it, but from a mathematical or numerovational perspective, and why the word itself became popularized over the years because of our constant use of it. And all of it has mathematical vibrations to it. You'll be surprised that the word Negro adds up to a master number 22. So go figure that one out. And then the word nigga, the way it's spelled with the N-I-G-G-A, that has the 2 double G's, which also have their positive and negative significance. And why it's important to be very mindful of the words that we use, because they do create a certain energy in whom you are saying it to, and if you say it about yourself and calling yourself that. Although over the years they've made these words part of the English language, especially from the Latin perspective, which they'll say negrita or negro or negres will come from, means black, but it's a game, and big up to the brothers and sisters of the Moorish paradigm and those that understand etymology and all the things that we learned over the years, even how Malcolm X encouraged us to study the dictionary. I have a lot of dictionaries. I collected dictionaries for many years. I have a dictionary that's probably about 1955. Then when I went to my aunt's house, there's a dictionary that she had, Aunt Sybil. She had, may she rest in peace, my cousin Shireen's mom. She had a dictionary that was 1933. So I remember that dictionary. I wish I could have gotten that dictionary. So this is not anything to the words that are the topic that's today is not really about the constant use of it, but I'm just letting y'all realize that there is a motivation behind all words, no matter if they use in a deplorable, negative manner, whatever it is. There is a motivation, and that's why the vibrations connected, the mathematical vibrations connected to these words, you'll find they were supposed to become popular. They were supposed to be popularized according to the numbers, whether it's negative or positive. How we're using the word niggas now, those type of words, how it's become popular amongst the younger generation, and even my generation at that time. That was one word that I would say every other word back in my club days and my crazy days. After, which is interesting, after leaving the Nation of Islam, my vocabulary went down towards, because what happened is you learn to adapt to the society, the environment that you're in. So when I left the Nation of Islam back in 95, after everybody got their Muhammad, so yeah, we all got our Muhammad at that time. I'm also a part of that energy, although, I don't tell people that much. But the discipline of not drinking and smoking stayed with me while going back into the club life and making money my own way, the way I know how to make money from promoting and producing and all that kind of stuff. So those type of things, sometimes when people get you upset in these environments, it can take you there to using these choice words like Negro or nigger or the F words, the F bombs, and all that kind of stuff. Fuck, bitch, all that kind of stuff. All of that is real. And sometimes when you're in a negative environment where everybody's doing it, the positive person or the person that came in there with positive intent, it can sometimes rub off some of those sayings and those words and all that. And because words have power, we always got to be a little bit more mindful. That's why now I don't even go into these frequencies unless it is like a club 363, like Brother Rich is about to establish. Club 363, I think is important to think about that on another level. So, but everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I hope everybody had a good solar eclipse day. I hope y'all all enjoyed. How was your solar eclipse? In one word, what would you describe the solar eclipse? I'm talking to everybody on IG and Instagram and YouTube, Facebook. One word, not two words. Please don't give me two. Give me one word. My one word would be exciting. My one word. What would be your one word? Put it in the chat. What is your one word for what happened yesterday as far as the solar eclipse? Mine was exciting. I was excited about it, to tell you the truth, because I knew what I was going to do with the energy of it. And when I went to sleep last night and woke up this morning, the dream was so vivid. I was on stage in front of thousands of people, politicians, all kinds of people, celebrities. Boom. I seen something. And I knew I was going to wake up with some type of interesting dream to some extent. So what was the one word that you would describe your experience yesterday? And if you didn't have an experience, cool. It's all right. It's all right that you didn't have experiences. But what would be the one word you use? Like I said, excitement was my word. If people was on the IG with me, they could tell I was excited. I was having fun. I was talking about using those energies and all that kind of stuff, and not be afraid. Don't be afraid. And no fear is not in the vocabulary when it comes to acknowledging and respecting the energy of an eclipse, whether it's a lunar or a solar eclipse. So let me hear some of the words. Let me see some words. Okay. Let me see. All right. A remembrance. That's what 8 Lucy 3 says. All right. Psalms Lewis says acceleration. All right. William says magnificent. Okay. Shelton says excited. Yes, I was excited, definitely. I said one word. I said one word, Lynette. I didn't tell you to keep on doing it. One word, Lynette. People don't listen. One word. You ain't got to give me no more words. One word. One word. Meditative. Very good. Oh, yeah. It was meditative. Good. Let me go to IG and see what they're saying. IG, what you saying? What was one of the words? Invisible. Okay, invisible. That's what Abai Soul Flow Yoga says. Let me put that up. Let me pin that up. Somebody says invisible. Okay, great. What's one of the ones? Any other words? Okay, holistic. Somebody said holistic. Put it up. Sherwin said holistic. Okay, big up to y'all on Instagram talking about holistic and invisible. Anybody else have any words on Instagram? Anybody else have on wisdom? I only want one word. One word. If you put more than one word, I'm not listening to you. One word. That's all I ask for. One word. And that's the important part of it. Important part is the one word and learning how to convey that one word message that can build on to other words. But what I asked for was just one word. One word. All right. So we go straight into it because, of course, the Wikipedia meaning of the dictionary meaning of Negro. It says the English language, the word Negro, or sometimes Negress for a female, is a term historically used to denote people considered to be of Black African heritage. The word Negro means the color black in both Spanish and in the Portuguese form from Latin Niger, where English took its form or took it from. The term can be construed as offensive, inoffensive, completely neutral, largely depending on the region or country where it is used, as well as the context in which it is applied. It has various equivalents in other languages of Europe also. So yeah, so this is on Wikipedia, and they got some good stuff. They even had all Negro comic books and all kinds of stuff. So the word was used and became popularized over the years, especially from into the let's say into the 60s, and and before that, just because they're using, Elijah Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, used to say so-called Negro or so-called American Negro. So I get, and I realize why he was doing it, especially because tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, I will be teaching on from a numerovational perspective. I'll be teaching on this, the numerovational perspective of the Black God, which the most honorable Elijah Muhammad popularized through the teachings of Master Fraud Muhammad. So it's important to know the words and why somebody like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and his students like Malcolm X and Farrakhan and all of them was moving you away from the word Negro and even Afro-American or Afro, or moving away from that Latin derogatory word, but it wasn't derogatory in the sense of Latin. If you was called a negrete or negro, it wasn't really a bad word unless you put energy behind it and you said it in a way that can be disrespectful or hurtful to other people. But when I looked at the numbers of the word itself, and let me take a step back. I got the two words up here. I got Negro and I got nigger, the way they said, not with the ER, because that adds another meaning of the word nigger or Negro. But Negro, Dr. Khaled used to say Negro only means, from his perspective, niggas trying to grow up. Negro. So big up to Dr. Khaled, the late great Dr. Khaled. So what I found is that when you look at the consonants of the word Negro, the consonant is up here. I put it up here because I wasn't sure if I'm going to use it. I put it up here in the Pythagorean and out here in the Chaldean, the number 10. So I wasn't sure if I was going to use it or not, but I said, you know what? My spirit just told me to go there because the consonants is the N, the G, the R. Those are the consonants of this word Negro. The vowels is the 5, of course, the E and the O, which adds up to a number 11, which is very significant in the word Negro or Negro. A friend of mine used to say, the Negro. She always used to extend the E like she had double E's on it. But because it adds up to a number 21, remember in my book what I talk about that 21 being an initiation number. It's a number, the 21, and the consonants of the word Negro. In my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, it's called the symbol. 21 is called the symbol of the universe, and it's called the symbol of the world in tarot. Now, it's an initiation number, the 21. It deals with long initiation, test of your determination. It's also known as the crown of the Magi. So the consonant of the word Negro really initiated a lot of melanated people into the use of that word. Like, of course, people like George Washington Carver, or people like Booker T. Washington, and people like Marcus Garvey, and the people that use the word Negro. It went through its initiation. It went through its battles. That's what I'm trying to say with the number 21 being there at the helm. And because it's number 10 in the Chaldean system, and that's the wheel of fortune energy, it became a very successful Word. It became very successful to the point that we still use it to this day and still write books with the name Negro on it. Became a and that's the wheel of fortune, but it can go either way depending on the use of the energy of this word Negro. And I'm talking about the consonants of the words. So the consonants represents the outer aspect of each word, each name that you use. So when you look at the consonants of your name, so it's just like when you go into the mesonetter and you find that you just see med, and you just see those letters. Those are the consonants because the vowels had to be added. Medu had to be added. Put it like that, or depending on how they do it. So the medu had to be added for it to be called medunetter. That e wasn't there. T-E-R. No matter how they said, they would just put, this would be the consonant. This would what we read in the English words of medunetter. That would be the English. Just the consonants, because in certain ancient languages, you had to add the vowels to it. And that's why in numerology, vowels represents the inner aspect of the word that brings the word to life. And these are the consonants, which deals with the outer aspect. So the vowels in any words, and when it's added to any words, remember, it adds the spirit and the soul to the word. That's what the vowels, that's why in most instances, in certain jargon of numerology, you find that the vowels are called the soul urge. Soul encourages. Some people might call it whatever they want to call it, but the internals represents the vowels. The outside of the word, the consonant represents the outer. Somebody would say the quintessential you, or the outer you. That's what the consonants represent. When you add up all of the letters, it adds up to, it's called the expression. That's what the word or the name expresses. So it's very important that each and every word and every name has its consonants, which represents the outer, has its inner, the soul, inner, and it has its expression, especially when you're doing numbers. So all your names that you ever chosen, whether it's spiritual, whether it's religious, whether it's a title, whether it's a handle, whether it's a handle for IG, a handle for Facebook, or a handle for anything, all have the same premise that I'm explaining to you. It all has its expression. It has its internals, which is the soul, which has the external, which is the consonants. And that's how you figure out the mathematics of the numbers when you connect the numbers to the letters. Whether you're using Pythagorean or Chaldean, or you're using gematria, in gematria, you'll start seeing the hundreds and 200s and 300s. They have their way of doing it. And it's not that you don't negate the powers of the single digit or the double or the triple digit. You're just adding more of a bigger picture to it. That's what I'm trying to show people. You're trying to add more of a bigger picture to it. It's all right to add more of a bigger picture to it, which I like to do. But like I said, I like to keep it simple. If you want to go to gematria and study gematria, A.A. Rashid is one of the best in our community. Brother Blue Pill has developed himself to be one of the great ones doing the gematria and the Kabbalah. So, and A.A. is called the Kabbalah God. So enough respect to the Kabbalah God himself. And then you'll get another dimension of your name and your word when you're doing that. I like to keep it simple because I like to keep you on the runway until you fly. And if you're willing to fly and learn gematria or any other thing, that's your flight. You're in flight now. But you can't negate the basics of it, because the basics is what got you to fly, got you on flight. Can you imagine an airport without a runway? They need a runway. So that's the Chaldean and Pythagorean systems is the runway. Put it like that. It's like the runway for all of them, to tell you the truth. And then it got into the more mystical and the deeper esoterics and the mysticism and all that. And some people don't agree with mysticism. Some people do agree with it. That's either here or there, but there's always an internal and an external. It's always a deeper other side, and there's also the showing of that side, of that. And then there's also a quantum level, and then there's also a minute or a microcosmic and a macrocosmic, and all of this. There's always a greater picture behind this, because that word Negro has been used over time for over 50 to 100 years or more. Just this word, Negro, which comes from a Latin derivative. So I've been studying etymology for years too, because we were encouraged in the Nation of Islam and in the Ansarullah community and under the Moorish science and all of them to study the etymology of these words, to go into to not just understand the connotative and the denotative meaning of these words. So big up to people like Ataj Tariq Bey, or people like Asil, or people like Abundance Child, or people like Raz Mariah Bey, that also help to enhance my diction by going to the root of words and learning. So I pick those people up because I respect them and love them very much. But I deal with numerovation. This is the numerovational perspective. I want to make sure people are very clear with that. I'm not here to take away from what anybody is doing. If you're going to study the etymon or the etymology of it, study it, and then you can get a meaning. But from a numerovational perspective, the word itself, again, the word itself in its fullness add up to 32. And in the older system of numerology, when it comes to compound numbers, the 32 is very significant because it brings a level of magic. That's why they used to talk about the magical Negroes. The magical Negroes. Why were they magical? Because some of them that they was doing, because they was connected to some of them, their ancestors and doing so many things. And a lot of people didn't understand, especially people that was lesser melanated than us, didn't understand the magic of who the Negro is. But the number 32 let me know from a mathematical perspective, because when you read old books, old numerologist books from the early 1900s, Chikiro, he talks about 32. This is a magical power like the single digit number 5, he goes on to say, or the number 14 or the 23. It is usually associated with combination of people and nation. Although we don't have a definitive nation called Negro Nation, but people around the world think the Negro, or we, the melanated or black people, are a nation of Negroes. Some people actually think we're just a nation of Negroes. This book already says 32 is also usually associated with combination of people and nation. Says it is a fortunate number if it holds to its own judgment and opinion. So when the Negro was able to step out and start creating scientific inventions and doing when they hold to their own judgment of who they are, not being controlled by a slave master that want to turn us into a nigger, this was very important. This energy was very important because it gave it flexibility, it gave it compassion, it gave it expression, it gave it also intuition. And because 11 is the middle, is the vowels of the name in the Pythagorean, adds up to a number 5 and a 6, which is a number 11. It gave you a spiritual and physical equilibrium between the use of the words, and why Negroes sang Negro spiritual. Master number 11 is there. It's a number of spirituality, spiritual insight, deeper spirituals. That's why those songs meant so much and resonated with the spirit, even up to this day. Although I'm not a gospel toter and a gospel listener at an extent, I can listen to a Mahalia Jackson. I can listen to the Browns Family. I can listen to those old spirituals that would remind me. That's why I was at Wade in the Water. I did a whole lesson on Wade in the Water. Or it ain't over, or my name has changed. I know I've changed. I know I've changed. Those are old spiritual, Negro spirituals. So those things, because of the energy of the frequency of the number, the 21, the 32, the 11, and the 5, those numbers are alerting us that those frequencies helped us during the rough times of being called a Negro or a nigger, because we're going to find out the master numbers to this too. You got 77, 33 in here. You got master number 11 here too. So there is a frequency that can go both ways. And I tell people numbers are objective, it's not subjective. But sometimes people would subject us to the negative and push the negative energy of that number upon us until the point that it can become very devastating to a nation of people. So even if we go to the word negos, which is more Ethiopian for royalty, there's also another variation and difference where these words actually came from the Ethiopian word negos or negos. So if you got 5 here, 5 here, I'm dealing with Pythagorean and Chaldean, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 7, 3, 3, 6, 1, 1. Now we got another. That's 10, 20, 21 shows up again. An initiation just to become royal. Become a royal negos, you still have to go through your initiation. Although the outer parts of the word negro, which is just revealing the parts that it's connected to this in some way, the 21 is still an initiation number. It's still the star of the Magi, the crown of the Magi. It still says you got to go through your determination to just be the royal aspect of this word negro or negos, where the consonant is revealing the outer aspect of where it really came from. That's what it's trying to tell me. That's what it's telling me from my perspective. And again, I'm not justifying these words. I'm just showing you that there are mathematical vibration behind these words that whether they work behind the scenes or not, it is what it is. Whether they work behind the scenes or not, numbers don't care if you believe in them or not. They're going to work behind the scenes. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't take it that I'm trying to promote something like this. I'll promote negros first before I promote negro and nigger. Just let you know that. I will promote negos because that is the 21, like I say in my book, is the crown of the Magi number. The crown of the Magi, and every Magi or every royal king that has ever been crowned, or every royal queen or empress that ever been crowned, had to go through their initiation, had to go through their test of determination, had to go through it, and it adds up. The word negos adds up to the number 21, which adds up to a number 3, which deals with the expansion ways and vibration that they have to deal with and have to go through. If you want to be royal. If you want to be royal. You understand? So, again, now going to the negos again, 10 plus 10 equals 20. 5 plus 5, 10. 3, 6, and 1 equals, well, actually, nope, let's change that. That's not the right. It will be a 3 here. That's wrong. 1 is up here, 3 is here. So let's change that. That is not 20, that's 5, that's 10, that's 19, 20, 21, 22. So in actuality, again, the 22 shows up from the word even negro adds up to a 22 in one aspect, 2 different words, which was this word came out of this word, but they try to use these 2 words as something that was negative and promote the negative aspect of this word, although negos is older than these 2 words. The Ethiopian word is older than these 2 words. Let's get it straight. It's even older than the Latin language because you're coming from the Amharic. The Amharic is right up a line of Sudanese and the Kemetic languages and those older African languages. But the negos, the Ethiopian word, is much more older than these words. So the Ethiopian word, now we see that is a master number 22. The master builder. So if you're going to be royal in under that word, you got to be a builder. You got to be a constructor. You got to be an architect, not just of external life, but internal life. Internal life, because the number 2 in its private setting, 2 represents the intuitiveness and the compassion that king or that royal person has to have just to be a negos. I do things differently, family. I do things differently. You know what I'm saying? I do things differently. I do things differently for a reason. And I've been breaking, the topic is the Negro, a numerovational perspective. A numerovational perspective. Yes, today is adds up to a number 12 in one aspect and a 21 in another aspect. I already have that written down. However, if you added, thinking holistically again, if you added 4 plus 8 plus 44, 4 plus 9 plus 44 equals 57. You'll get 57, and 57 has its own distinct meaning for this day before it adds up to a number 12, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So going to, now we see that the word negos, which means royal, I got royalty in my DNA. That's royal. That's royalty. And remember, 21 is still the initiation number. It's the number of the universe. So anybody that holds this expression in its fullness, they're supposed to be universal. They're supposed to be able to rule the world or be on top of the world, because 21 is the symbol of the universe and it's called a symbol of the world. And it deals with the initiation and the test of determination. And the crown is given to that negos after they go through that long battle. That's how deep the word is. And anytime you see these numbers popping up, the 21 here and the 22 there, you see 21 over there as far as the consonant, and 22 there is always an initiation and a building process that has to take, whether they're building it for a destructive mechanism or building it for a higher level. Everything has its duality. Last but not least, we're going to go down the road of the word nigga, as spelled on the streets, Nigga. Adds up to a 29, which can be a number of deception. If you read my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, I talk about the number 29 being the symbol of compassion, which people have compassionately made this word into something that's endearing. People will call each other a nigga like they friends. Hey, yo, my nigga, yo, my nigga, YouTube, if you're watching, I'm not doing anything disrespectful. I'm trying to just understand the math, so please leave me alone. But compassion, and it's called the completion of vision. That's what the number 29. But on the other hand, it's a number of uncertainty, treachery, deception. And we can, beyond any doubt, realize that when you in your nigga mode, you can be treacherous, deceptive, uncertain, in regards to relationship with yourself or your family. Now, because it's become so endearing, the positive of the number 29 is trusting others. That's why brothers that call themselves, or the women that call each other niggas, they trust that. That's my nigga, that's my this, she's my nigga, that's my... They trusting each other. It's a number of trusting, self-confidence, focus, conscious of their surroundings. So the nigga has to be conscious of their surroundings whenever, if they're doing the higher level of it. I'm saying the higher level of it because there are celebrities and people that have taken the word and made it an endearing thing that has duality to it. Where if that same celebrity had a friend that did something devastating, he would call them a treacherous nigga. But if he's doing something that's supportive of him and love him, he'll say, that's my nigga. Again, you're using it for both sides here now. Because everything, all of them have duality, to tell you the truth. Powerful stuff. And then because in the Chaldean system, it adds up to a 13, which is a 4. 13, like I always say, is the number of power and dominance. But if you don't use the power correctly, like I wrote in my book, if you don't use the power correctly, Numerovation for Mental Stability, if you don't know what the book is, I tell you that the number 13 is a symbol. It's a symbol of power and dominance if properly understood. But if it is wrongly used, I'm right, I wrote it in my book, it can wreak destruction on the nigga because some people use it wrongly. Some people have become a devastating tool of destruction just by acting like the negative meaning of that word. Although we know what white folks use this word, Europeans use this word for us to put the negativity on us. But you got to remember, Black folks have this innate ability to flip any word and make it comfortable for them because it's all about the adapting process. The word starts off with the N. All these words start off with the letter N. And when you have the initiating letter being connected to the number 5, that deals with the flexibility and the adaptability of the rest of the word itself. But as long as it has 5 as the beginning, those are all flexible. That's all represents being able to adapt, the freedom to move, the freedom to adapt and move and be able to coincide anywhere under that. Just that letter alone starts it off. So I'm just trying to make sure people understand that I'm not promoting the word Negro and nigger per se. I'm just trying to show people how there's duality in all of them. Even the internals of the words add up to the wheel of fortune, because you got some fortunate Negroes out there or niggers out there. You got some fortunate niggas out there that have done their thing, done their work, that we would consider a nigger because they use their ratchetness to become successful. And the number 10 is the wheel of fortune energy in the vowels of the name. 9 and 1 equals 10. But it says the wheel of fortune can be accomplished either both positive and negative. And then in the Chaldean, it adds up to a number 2, which deals with the sensitivity of the word, the deeply internal sensitivity of this word to a lot of people. Then you have master number 77 and 33, where 77 adds up to 14, which deals with the flexibility of it. But 77 says there could also be a spiritual and mental illness and spiritual illness that can be involved or connected to the 77. The 33, although 33 is a number of imagination and jovial and happiness on one side, it can be a number of scandal, master number of scandal and recklessness with this nigger energy. So yeah, it goes both ways on use, and depending on what culture you're under and who you're with and who you're supporting, and if you're amongst your friends, that's what y'all call each other. And because you got a whole bunch of women that call themselves biatch. Hey, what up, bitch? How you doing? Hey, I'm sorry, I've heard it, I've seen it. My nigga, how you doing? My dog was we've been able to turn and convert words that would usually be negative. We turned it into a positive to suit ourselves, but it doesn't mean that the negative connotation does not exist. Negative, deeper meaning doesn't exist. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So strive to be the niggas, the royal ones. Dr. Khaled said niggas trying to grow up. There's something about this word that has taken over a whole generation. Nigga. Negro was taking over a whole generation. This was a part of a generation too in ancient times. So every one of these words had their generation, had their cycle. What's next? I don't know yet. What's next? I don't know. But negos comes from the ancient Ethiopian, which means royalty. Negro, we know it comes from the Latin word, which quote unquote means dark or black. Then we took it into the movement of Negro History Month and all that kind of stuff with Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois and all of these people. Started carrying it. We went into the nigger. Now we have most of our younger people or people from the 90s, late 90s, 2000 calling ourselves that. And they have made it a term of endearment. And every one of them had their endearment cycle also. Every one of them had their endearment cycle. If you look at the history of the word, and it probably even goes even back furthermore than negos. So on that tip, family, I just want to thank all of y'all for coming on. I hope y'all enjoyed what I shared from a basic perspective, nothing crazy. Even the word nigga and the consonants of the word add up to a 19, which shines light onto things, but also 19 is that number that deals with the alpha and omega energy, where there is a beginning, there must be an end. And in the Chaldean, it adds up to a number 11, a master number 11. So there's a spiritual thing behind it also, the spiritual nuances, spiritual elevation or destruction. So everything has its duality once you understand the words and how to use it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Black God now. The words Black God, the numerovational perspective of the Black God. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow because I'm leaving town and I won't be around my chalkboard tomorrow. So I'll be in New York this weekend, family. This weekend. Myself, Ma Bowman, Unc Rising Sun, Kafunya Ife doing the sound bowl, and of course Mama Ella. And then on the 14th, this is us again. Myself, Adara Moselle, Dr. Shakira Moore, and the legend himself, Lloyd Strayhorn. You want to get your tickets? I'm going to put it in the chat right now. If you want to get tickets right now, you can go to both of my links here. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Or you can go to my Linktree Instagram. You can go to my Linktree right here on my IG. If you want to go to these events, these two events are going to be delicious. They're going to be delicious. We coming to New York to put that work in, yo. We coming to New York. I just shared it in the live chat on Facebook and also on YouTube. Let me share it on Instagram also, if they can come on out. Boom. It's all vibrations, family. Always. It's always about the vibration. Always about the vibrations, family. Again, you can go to my Linktree or you can go to allmylinks.com. That's allmylinks.com / King Simon Productions. Allmylinks.com / King Simon Productions. Come on out, give me a hug. Let me see some people, man. I need to see some people. I haven't seen people in New York in a while. These 2 days is King Simon and Friends. One is called Spiritual Legacy that Monique and from Nicholas Brooklyn and Kafunya Ife is presented. We're part of the 8th volume. And then Spiritual Legacy, Spiritual Alchemy, they can have this and they could do part 1 of Spiritual Alchemy. And now we're going to be lacing off Spiritual Alchemy part 1, or maybe I could come back and keep on producing Spiritual Alchemy. And then in that week, I'll be interviewing the one, the only, with Carrie Ann Ingram. Myself and Carrie Ann will be interviewing Rizza Islam. Brother Rizza Islam will be with us. Message to the Millennials. That's the name of his book. So we're gonna touch a whole lot of stuff. And I'm glad I'm doing it on the 17th because he was born a month before. He was born March 17th. And then he'll be coming into Nicholas on the 27th and the 28th. That's going to be done. Make sure you get your tickets through Eventbrite at Nicholas or Google. Go to Eventbrite and go to Spiritual Legacies. And I'm going to try to come back again for this martial arts grandmaster celebrating his 30th. One of my martial arts teachers in Sanukis Root Jiu-Jitsu, the master himself, Master Bill McLeod, May 3rd and May 4th, two different locations. 759 is his location, and then 1120 Washington Avenue is Sabanim David location. We're going to be there. That does Hapkido and, of course, Kumite and all of that, and Jiu-Jitsu also. And so we're going to be there. And then don't forget, Infundishi is coming to town, coming to Nicholas. He'll be speaking at Nicholas on 5/11, the day that Bob Marley transitioned, and also the day that Minister Farrakhan was born, May 11th. That's where Infundishi is going to be there from 6 to 9. Big up to my son. He's doing great jobs at his studio. If you got an audio book or anything you want to work with, doing any type of mixes, support him, show him some love. He'll show you some love. And just tell him you know King Simon, all right? And remember, make sure you support our dear sister while she's traveling to Jamaica. She's heading to Jamaica. So we're not going to officially do a show tomorrow, but I will do a show promoting her business and my business and all that, and probably take some question and answers from the audience and all that. So support Carrie Ann Ingram. Hit up Carrie Ann Ingram from out of Toronto, Canada. CarrieAnnIngram.com. That's CarrieAnnIngram.com. And of course, salute to my brother Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Hit him up at the 800 number and tell him King Simon sent you. If you do want to book a session with me, I will still be doing sessions while I'm out. I call it paycation. I'm never on a vacation. I'm always on a paycation. So yeah, I do sessions even if I'm in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So I got no problems doing that. I set you up. So my list is in April, heading into May. So if you want to book a session with me, text me your full name and date of birth, 347-496-1022. And the books are on Amazon, or you can go to my Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. I'm taking this to New York to mix it at a studio with my son. We're definitely going to be bringing out the audio books very soon. And I'm going to put this out. This is about to go up because I want to wait a little bit because I had a little problems. But this time I'm figuring it out and everything is coming through. And remember what Dr. B says. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. And I'm thankful for my life. And remember what Dr. Blair says. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Family, thank you very much for being a part of the journey, for allowing me to come into your household, come into your phone, come into your television, whatever ways, whatever means. Thank you very much. And please do remember to vote. Please vote for your brother. You can vote as many times as you want. Let me throw that in the link to the chat also. You can vote via the text, and you got to vote for every category, but make sure you go to television host and always push that King Simon. Or you can go through the website. I'm going to post that right now. Go through the website right now. Go through the website right now to vote for me via the website on Forbidden Knowledge TV. You can go to that website right now and vote for your brother, because we want to walk on that stage, and I'm going to thank everybody with tears in my eyes. Once I win it, I will do it. I'm going there for it. All right, family, thank you very much for joining me on the Mathematical Universe. King Simon presents the Numerovational Perspective. Be safe, be great, and I hope y'all took the energy of the eclipse yesterday as not just something as a form of entertainment, but a form of energy-tainment or energetic entertainment to help your energy get across and move into the most positive and productive. I want to say condolences to my dear former boss from WWRL, Brother Bob Law. His wife transitioned within this whole portal. His wife was named Montu from Namaskar Health Store over there. Used to be on Vanderbilt. Now they moved to Atlantic Avenue. She just a beautiful, light-skinned, tall sister. Those who ever used to go to their store, Namaskar, she just transitioned. I called Bob for his birthday, April 6th, and he had said something in my ear. He said, brother, there's something tragic that happened, but thank you for calling. But he didn't get into it, and now I found out what it was. His wife transitioned, his beautiful wife, Montu. Montu was a beautiful sister. So enough respect to Bob Law, my brother from Black Talk and back in Night Talk, Night Talk back in the day on WWRL radio. And of course, y'all used to hear him on WHBI. Big up to Bob Law, and condolences to the whole family of Bob Law. and his beautiful wife, Montu, just transitioned. Queen of Fool's friend, Phil Valentine, I call Phil. They was friends. I brought Phil over there the recent when I had him over there. So big up to Montu, man. May she rest in eternal peace. She done so much help good for our people. So enough respect to Montu. All right. So family, have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Be safe, be great, and stay focused, and just stay out of people's business and protect the vibration of your business to go high, high, high in your life. And don't let nobody pull you down to no low status. Always be willing to stay high. Don't let no one pull you down. All right. Stay motivated, stay strong, stay numerovated, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Hey everyone, I'm Elizabeth Carson, and I'm thrilled to introduce to you an extraordinary weekend event happening right here in Miami, Florida on August 3rd and 4th. It's none other than the second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards weekend. After the tremendous success of last year's event with over 1,200 attendees from around the globe, we knew we had to make this year's event even more spectacular. On Saturday, we have a captivating conference lined up featuring world-renowned speakers such as Muhammad Ibrahim, Merkaba 13, Robert Grant, Billy Carson, and a women's panel hosted by yours truly. Following the conference, we'll set sail for a VIP yacht cruise at sunset, where you'll have the chance to mingle with your favorite nominees and celebrity guests, all hosted by 19 Keys. Sunday, August 4th, kicks off with a Forbidden Knowledge book publishing signing event, followed by the highly anticipated second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. This is a red carpet affair, so come dressed to impress. Remember last year we surprised a lucky guest with an Audi A4 during the awards, and this year we're upping the ante with a chance to win a Mercedes-Benz. So make sure you secure your tickets early. This event is sure to sell out quickly. I cannot wait to see each and every one of you there for what promises to be an unforgettable weekend of education, inspiration, celebration, and glamour. King Simon, I love him. He's family, and he has one of the top shows on the Forbidden Knowledge TV network, actually. That's right. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't. Yeah, this show is called, it was really based on Numerovation. It's a numerology show, and it's called How to Calculate Your Destiny. Yes. By King Simon. He's the host of the show. The show has done so well, we're now getting ready to start working on filming season 2. All right, so King Simon, one of the top shows on Forbidden Knowledge TV, streaming TV platform.
It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class.